Hey, what's up? This is Dillio coming to you with another beat remake. In this beat remake, I'm going to cover SWV Right Here remix produced by Teddy Riley. I believe it came out in '93. Let me know in the comments below what the right year was for that. I believe it was '93. And you know, this video right here was basically a celebration of how this beat was put together, and also some of the information that I found out about this beat as I was digging, as far as the technology is concerned. First, let's start off with the drum loop. Now, the drum loop came from, this is how I discovered it, and I'll break it down. If you got some ideas about how this thing came together, whether it was Roland first that had this drum loop or Teddy Riley, whoever came up with this loop was a genius, right? Because it's a very full sounding loop. Definitely you can hear the PCM sampling going on in it. It was really cool. So I'm going to play the loop for you, and I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory of how I ran into this loop. So that's the drum loop that was in the song. Now here's the thing. While I was browsing on Instagram, I was looking at one of the Splice videos on Instagram because I follow Splice, and I saw that they talked about another sample that was used in the Nelly song, that song, right? And they talked about the producers that used that. So I looked up that device, and I saw someone using, doing a demo on this device. And this device, as I put it on the screen, is called the Roland MDC-1, which is kind of like a dance sound module. Back in the day, before we had plugins, we had to use these sound modules hooked up to our music sequencers, whether they would be MPCs or something else. So I was looking at the video, and I heard samples that was used by Timbaland and from so many producers, but I never heard of this device before. You know, I thought that the sound module legacy of Roland started with the JV series, but no, they did things before that. And I heard those familiar samples, and that drum loop was one of the samples that I heard on there. Now fast forward to when Roland came out with the modular series of expansion cards, and I was over at my friend's house, and we were checking out some of the dance expansion, and it had that same exact drum loop on there. Now, here's the thing that I wonder about, and maybe you can let me know in the comments below. Was that originally produced by Teddy Riley and Roland took it? Or did someone from Roland originally do that drum loop and Teddy Riley took it and used it for that beat? We all know that Teddy Riley did use Roland gear, so it would kind of line up. But I'll let you determine that in the comments below. So in this remake, I'm not going to really count on just slapping that loop in there. I'm going to make a drum loop that sounds like it. And then maybe towards the end of the remake, I'm going to maybe slap that on it, because this loop sounds perfectly with that drum sample. Now, let's move on to the sample. So I got two samples put together, and what I'm going to do is going to create another 4-bar loop with a tempo of 93, because the tempo of 93 really fits the original sample in which the sample came from, which was Human Nature, Michael Jackson from the Thriller album. To what I can interpret is that Teddy Riley took that sample from Michael Jackson and used that for the remix for SWV. So we're going to look at the samples here. Now this is where I get into the audio rights, you know, DCMA management. So we're just going to dive straight into it, and I hope that the labels and hopefully the algorithm will be merciful with this video. But at this point, I don't care. I just wanted to share how this beat came together. I know that was a lot of talking, but I had to preface all that so that we can go into the next part. So I got a couple of samples I chopped from the original sample. Here's one. You can just hear that algorithm clicking away at this video. And then I have another part where Michael just sings that why. So I got those perfectly lined up with each other, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the sequence to 93 BPM. I'm going to turn my speakers down just a little bit so they don't get overloaded, but I still want to feel it. So what we're going to do, we're going to come up with that sample, and we're going to loop that. We're going to come up with a perfect loop. 93 BPM was pretty much a good place for me to work with it. Of course, websites will say something different. So let's dive into that. We got a blank sequence, and I'm just going to put that first sample in there. And we're going to let that loop. Okay, so now we got that loop in there, pretty tight, super locked in. We're going to go to the next track where I'm going to put in some drum sounds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some swing to that, some MPC swing. The swing setting I have set to it is about 65. And we could push it even further, but 65 on the swing setting is a good place to go. And as more stuff comes into the beat, we're going to start here the sample kind of getting mixed in a little bit. I have the sample turned up, so. So we're just going to keep adding sounds. I got a few sounds here. And I'm just going to mix some sounds together. And that's kind of the way that you did things, to me, back in the days, that you mix sounds together. So we're just going to mix that together. And we're just going to keep adding sounds. Add some finger snaps, and I'm trying to kind of come up with however they did it. I can't quite source all the sound, but I'm just going to keep adding sounds to it. I got some more samples in there, a tambourine and another snap. Alright, so next I'm going to add the bass sound. Now the bass sound is just going to be kind of like this 90s. Very simple. And I got it in my Khemikals Season 2 pack, so if you're already owner of Khemikals Season 2, this preset will be added to your preset for free. Here we go. Alright, next I'm going to add some keys, and I found this key sound from a Roland D50 plugin. You know, it's a cool... Just going to bring it down a little bit. And really simple chords. Alright, and next what I heard in the beat was kind of like this high string sound. So I'm just going to add that too as well. So a little string sound. And I'm just going to hold that for 4 bars. Just real nice and soft in the background. And we're going to come back to that sample. And we're just going to bring that sample back. So here it is without the sample. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that sequence, and then we're going to use the different sample with Michael singing the why, that one. So I'm going to copy that sequence, right? And then I'm going to clear that sequence out. And let's bring that in. Alright, so we got that sample in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the sample, and I'm going to keep it right there on that part, but I'm going to go back to where we had the sample of the original loop that was taken from, I don't know, Teddy Riley or was it Roland? But I'm going to pull that loop up real quick. Alright, so now I'm going to play this. This is pretty much the whole drum loop. We're going to put that in there. Here it is without the little drum loops that I did, and just the sample by itself, and you're going to hear how it sounds exactly as close as I can get it without any of my own intervention. So that's pretty much that beat. As you heard, we went from talking about the original drum machine or the original sound module where I heard the loop. We talked about, and you know, you can answer your comments below. Did Teddy Riley come up with that loop, or did that come from someone working for Roland? We talked about how we fit the samples in there and some of the chords and bass sounds that I use for that song. So I hope you enjoyed this remake. If you'd like to see any other type of remakes, please leave your comments in the section below. I do read them, good or bad. And also I'd like to invite you to visit my website, Dillio.com, where I have beats. I actually do tracks for people. And if you're looking for a producer that could do an original track for you, you can come to my website and check out what I do there. I have a beat store with a bunch of beats and a bunch of other stuff. And if you're a producer, I actually have presets and sounds that you can use for your production on the website as well. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share it, and also hit that notification bell as well. Alright, y'all take care and have a good one. Peace out.